Welcoming you to another episode of the Ascension Alchemists podcast. Today is me and Michael's show.
How excited we are to come together once again to bring forth what we are currently experiencing raw, real, and in the flesh.
In real time.
In real time.
Welcoming you all. Today is episode 12.
Wow, it's already been 12 episodes.
So you have done 3 episodes solo or 2?
3.
3. I have done 3.
Okay.
This is also our 3rd combined episode.
Wow, look at that triple trifecta of 3s.
That's so exciting. And today we want to kind of dive in. Let's dive in. Those of you that know us, you know we like to dive in because it seems like we've just come off of, Michael, how shall we describe what we just came off of from last week as we're into this week and the topic that we want to discuss? Should we just say what the topic is?
I think so. Go for
What you tell me? What do you feel would be right title of the topic that we want to share today?
The right topic.
Or the title for this topic that we're going to explore.
Right when you think you have experienced it all, then comes a whole new wave to rise even greater than who you think you are.
I like that. That's a long description topic, but I like it. Okay, let's dive in. Let's dive in. So those of you who are with us, you are going to get a glimpse of our last week. Some of you watched my episode on Monday or heard my episode on Monday, so you got a chance to learn about what I was involved with. In last week, I was in training with 7 different mentors.
Smart.
And I spoke on I don't think you listened to my solo show yet because of our schedule, but I did speak about how I was already committed with these 3 mentors, and out of nowhere, this additional wave came in.
Right.
And I just knew inside of me, without any shadow of doubt, I had to say yes.
And when you say yes, what I love about it is there's this little nudge. There's this little nudge of saying, hey, Michael.
You want to come on too?
There's an extraordinary journey ahead. Would you like to join? Oh, don't worry. It's only going to be a couple hours this weekend. Maybe just 14, 7 each day, starting at 7 a.m. till 2.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Michael, listen, Michael. I spoke about how just when our human perception somehow decides my schedule's already filled, it's already busy, I'm already committed, and then this other wave comes in through the human self, right? It's saying, I might get overwhelmed and I'm not going to do it. And usually that's the past, that when one feels overwhelmed, or at least I can speak for myself, and I feel overwhelmed, I can't do it. And I have become aware because I am relying on my human self. Last week was an incredible experience because I was all day, Thursday and Friday, I shifted things around to also be in the mentorship, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And then this other one came about, which was like from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., both Saturday and Sunday. And I was speaking on Monday how when there's that joy, there's that inner guidance, and you can tell, or one can tell, or I could tell, it is definitely ordained. God has opened this way. I was able to experience it without getting tired and really, really joyful go through it. And we're coming off of that into this week, which we're going to discuss what just came into our lap and what we are about to jump on as well. So for our beautiful audience, I want to share that I said yes, then I said yes, then I said yes, and I said yes again. And I decided to also say, you know what, Michael? We want to come along. So why don't we just talk about what you experienced, because this ties into what just came about out of kind of again nowhere, and we're about to jump on that as well all day on Friday.
Sure. So for our audience, I would just like to bring the question is, what does it feel like when your human body or sensation feels like it's meet its capacity? Because that was what I was going into this past week of very busy, ending some workshops, starting some new trainings, and then all
Wait, because you had just you finished your last
yes,
teaching with your master class, right?
Master Your Health, a 4-week series of unlocking your power with the 4 sacred keys. I just literally finished that
On Friday.
Where you
teaching.
introduced a 2-day, 14-hour intense up-level training. And what was interesting and what I'm posing to the audience is, have you ever been in a situation where your physical, your mental, and your emotional, and just your body saying, okay, I don't think I have any more capacity to give myself the opportunity to dive into even a deeper level of commitment that sometimes we give so much. Yet, what was so interesting is the limitations of the mind had this old story of
This is you're talking about you. So the limitation of your mind
limitation of
was
my
coming
mind
on.
was coming on, and I asked the audience this, if I can be more clear, is if they ever had limitations upon themselves when they've reached maximum capacity and overdrive of when a new wave of experience comes before you and what you do.
Yeah, and how do you handle
and how
that?
you handle it. And so I feel it was
So how you handle it, you would be more interested. Do they actually go through? Do they not go through? What goes through inside of them? Do they feel overwhelmed? Do they feel like absolutely not? Like just out of curiosity, right?
I just feel as a as a human being, there's times where I ask the audience where your mind may say something,
Yeah.
but deep within there's a higher yes. And to overcome that, what does it take? Because I felt this weekend was a ultimate shift
Yeah.
of seeing how all these barriers start to rise of expressing how I'm not able,
Yeah.
or this is not the right situation because I physically need rest.
That was all on Saturday.
That was all, well, Friday into Saturday.
Friday and Saturday.
Because there was little sleep in between as well. So moving into an opportunity where once again, I feel these human senses have a great way of giving a false picture of what you can really do when I'm inspired to dive deeper of what's coming before me. And so Saturday was a clear example of waking up at, I guess it would be 5, because you woke up an hour before everything thinking that the training was going to start at 6. So I was just tossing and turning in bed, figuring out, why is Honi?
Because it looked like it was, we put the alarm at 6 o'clock. I was up. I was like, okay, God Almighty, I'm going to sit with you before starting. And then I took a shower and the alarm wasn't going. I didn't know what was going on.
And on my side, I was desperately wanting an hour of sleep because it was a very challenging night of sleep, and just wondering why Honi was sprung like a rabbit in the morning, an hour already before the training.
And which was absolutely perfect because it allowed me to shower, it allowed me sit, it allowed me to set my vibration with God's presence, bring it all in. And I had just come off of 2 full days of training. And so I'm going into another one. And I kept saying, yes, God Almighty, there's more capacity in me. Wow, this is amazing. You have so much more in me that I haven't seen before. I'm excited. So of course I brought all that Energizer bunny to you. All that
Me seeking a day of rest
battery.
in between.
So, yet what was amazing is you were able to see that difference, right? And the quantum shift that you and I both had together individually and together in our union by the time Sunday was finished, 2:30 p.m. And how incredible was that, right?
I truly understand when they say mind over matter. It is a jump of what we can perceive. And when I say mind over matter, the higher mind over
not the lower mind,
the
not the
lower
human
mind, because it just shows that sometimes I can give a certain level of attention to areas that want to pull away from a purpose that could be very beneficial, and yet to stay aligned and stay focused. And most important, to hear the truth of what you were expressing. I was quite shocked of how
and the power of
I
prayer,
moved through
right?
it. Yeah.
And the power of prayer. I said, Michael, I'm going to pray with you. I'm going to stand and not pray with you, so you can see with our human self, a lot of times we find limitation. It seems like there's a cap or like a ceiling, right?
Right.
But when we call in God mighty presence, the power of that truth, and you've heard me say these words out loud, every time I say them, there's like a different reality, right? Are we experiencing it? A complete different shift. How quickly?
Absolutely. There feels like there's this divine strength that comes in that overpowers the human body and guides it to a whole new direction. I saw that on Sunday because what was so funny is when we started the class on Saturday and I thought it ended at 11 and there was 2 more hours, I looked at you and then all of a sudden I could feel like just the frustration and be like, what? I geared my body at 11 a.m. that I was going to be completely finished, and there was 2 more hours where my body all of a sudden started to like dramatically shift because there was a limitation of like, wait a minute, the truth wasn't spoken to me, something's wrong with this. And all of a sudden I started to shift, but was surprising enough able to come back in resilience.
And that is a living testament of whenever we go through life with our human self, how much challenge we face. And, that was something that you and I spoke. And I was sharing with you, I said, wow, Michael, when I went for a walk, I really recognized when I include God Almighty in the busy schedule, from that joy of God Almighty, how much more capacity I have, because it seems like my human self was leaning back and God Almighty was present. So that's where it allowed my human body not to be exhausted and wiped out, which was such a celebration. And then to really experience the celebration with you and I, because Sunday was the 88 more days till the end of the year. And there was this amazing desire for you and I to wrap up these next couple of months and go into 2026 with our new state of beingness, our relationship, our own union going in that direction, and also individually. And this entire different industry that we have come into in the fullness expression of it.
Yeah.
Right?
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's extraordinary, and I feel it stretches our comfort zone. I know for me, sometimes like it's been this ultimate test of seeing what I can do, and then all of a sudden there comes a challenge or something that's like, okay, here comes the mind saying, this may be hard, this may be difficult, and then all of a sudden a greater presence coming in. And Sunday I felt that because each time where my body wanted to express a level of ache or pain, it was so interesting to breathe into that area and have this deeper sensation of higher trust within me.
Yeah.
And that higher trust and higher faith kept growing. And each time that there may have been a challenge within sitting for so long, I kept breathing back into that same level of energy. And it was wild to see how that was like a wave that kept building within me each time that I met that discomfort.
It's amazing. That it was so wonderful that I get a chance to be a witness. I don't know if you know, I was like cheering on the inside, feeling that celebration that I get to witness that you are actually breaking an incredible pattern inside of you. And for our audience, I'm sure you have been going through some of these where you're somehow on the inside, there's all this kicking, screaming, you're not capable, yet something bigger than you is pulling you, catapulting you forward. And when you go through it and you look back and you're in awe and wonder how you were able to go through. And I always want to really recognize that is God Almighty inside. Because a lot of times, it was interesting. I didn't get a chance to share with you this beautiful mentor that we trained with even this weekend. He is really involved. I mean, he's done incredible. And what was missing for me was there was a lot of him. He's done amazing again. How much he stretches himself, how far he has gone. And sometimes what I notice, individuals really give only credit to themselves. They think they did it themselves. They don't recognize the creator that loved them, gave them those opportunities, gave them that strength, gave them that courage, gave them that perseverance, gave them that space for them to be resilient, to go through. But there's this disconnect, and not even awareness. So they have the awareness of just getting their human better and better, versus they're totally missing the point that it's not about the human getting better and better. It's about God Almighty coming into the human, allowing that magnificent, that incredible experience to show out what the presence of God Almighty is within. And I feel probably I'm much more attuned to this because my keynote speaking is all about the message of, with God Almighty, all is possible. So I'm really tuned to this. And by the way, this is our 5th week, Michael. This is our 5th week with the podcast training.
Yes.
And also the keynote speaking. So it's all coming together. Like it's all 5 weeks later, it's all coming together along with all these other trainings. So why I'm saying that, because I love being able to see that. Like this weekend, I got to see you breaking this pattern. And when I spoke those words of truth from God, there was this instant shift, and you were able to claim then God presence in you to see, okay, my human is a little uncomfortable, but that's okay. I can still do it. Not because of it, because you've done this several times, and all this time, like in your life where it was uncomfortable, not sure, but you were able to do it. But it was never just you.
Yeah.
It was God Almighty that gave you the gift to go through that. And it kind of like, it hurts me when people don't recognize it. And even this magnificent mentor, he totally missed that this weekend.
Well, I feel each people are exactly where they are in their conscious journey, yet
Right.
when we can give credit to that God presence, that infinite intelligence that's constantly there for you, for me, for us to lift, to thrive, to elevate, it becomes a whole new perception. I feel this weekend really gave me the opportunity to decide, what thoughts am I going to choose? What emotions am I going to choose? Are they coming from the highest source for my greatest good of all? Or are they coming from a place that just wants me to judge based on a certain time that I may have not felt comfortable? And yet stepping back and saying, well, isn't this discomfort only allowing me to grow and expand to the greater version of myself? So feeling that, and then feeling that there's a powerful God presence within, all of a sudden it was like, wow, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
I have this presence. And then I have my sacred beloved with me. And then here we are as a team moving through this. And even though there were bumps along the way, I felt like these struggles were almost like passing hurdles that would just allow me to leap deeper and higher over them.
And wasn't it amazing how aligning it was with what we just taught last week, Wednesday, right? Because we're speaking of this, we're teaching it, and he came in from a different lens, and it we got to witness it also from a different lens, what we were sharing. So what I loved, what I loved the most, Michael? So then on Monday, I was like, wow, and this wowness started the morning just so charged with all these things. And when I claimed God's presence in my day, even a greater day, even a better day, who would have ever imagined? I couldn't have even dreamt it, right? So that by Monday later in the day, through the training with the keynote speaking, I was gifted 2 VIP tickets for Aspire Tour this Friday.
That's phenomenal.
I mean, like, And they happen to be in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
I mean, it is incredible when we're writing that, not the human joy, when we're writing that God Almighty's joy, when we say yes, right? And we take the actionable step and we apply it. So we keep writing that current, that currency, and it's running through us. It's running through the meridian channels, right? And the whole body is vibrating that greatness.
Right.
And it's so effortless. And next thing you know, out of nowhere, this 2 VIP ticket, they're $900 a piece.
Yeah.
We were gifted for this Friday now. It was so funny when I told you, oh, Michael, you want to come with it because these are the big name people in the industry. And here it is, Michael. It's 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. to 7 p.m.
A 12-hour event that I know.
12 hours. Look, you just got trained with it the weekend before. Isn't
Tap
that incredible?
into that infinite intelligence and that infinite energy. And it really, for me, witnessing it and seeing it really feels like there is
what do you think is happening?
I feel like there's a divine presence that's giving this celebration of each time we cross the finish line. Right. Each one of you that are listening that aspire to a greater level within you, another door opens up. And I feel like to open that door, sometimes we got to go beyond what we could ever imagine. And this weekend was a lot about pushing through limitations, dissolving them, and seeing greater aspects of yourself that are even like unconsciously within us that we can't even see because of these blocks. And so to go through these in joy, in happiness, to live in these divine principles, then only more opens up. And not to let the human senses deprive you of what is possible, because sometimes they can play this game of what the old patterns or old habits want to come up to say, wait a minute, you may have not gotten a little rest. Wait a minute, don't you want to take a pause before you go to this next step, versus just leaping forward and allowing the process to happen naturally.
I love what you shared, Michael. And I noticed something different inside of me. I noticed I noticed all through last week, there are all these micro quantum leap changes. And so when Monday this happened, there were two things that happened. One, I won a gift out of nowhere, and then this was gifted. So my before consciousness, when I was very heavily involved in the spiritual community, I would say, oh, universe is gifting me, rewarding me. Yet with this, I didn't think that way at all. My thought is not in that way. Okay. My thought was, it wasn't even confirmation. It was a truth of conviction that as I am saying yes and yes and yes to life, not just life, but the life that God Almighty has planned for me, that's seeded for me to come in this incarnation. And now that I have said yes to it, the more I'm saying yes to it, the more other parts that are part of the orchestration, the destination, are coming in faster, the other piece of the puzzle. So these 2 VIP tickets, I mean, what are the chances this major event is in Washington, D.C. this Friday? I didn't even think of it. I don't know, it wasn't even in my awareness. So it wasn't that universe rewarded me. No, because I said yes, because you said yes. I could have gotten just 1 VIP ticket, right, but it was 2. Why? You and I both did this. Right. You and I have said yes to life. We said yes to the greater so we can serve greater. Look, we're becoming more visible with podcasts, with the speaking, with putting ourselves really out there, because we recognize it's not about us. It's about serving God Almighty's plan that we are each part of in this incarnation, right? So as a result, you're individually as well as together. So as we say yes, and we're saying complete yes, a total truth, alignment, embodiment of that truth. So then the next opportunities are literally gifted to us so we can be in the room with the people who are part of our vision, who are part of our implementation, because we have our part, they have their parts. And it is such magnificent. Even though I have to move things around on Friday, no problem.
Right.
That's what's driving me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like my passion has come back on, Michael, and
Yes.
it's like fire inside of me, not for my human, but to wow, I am so grateful, God. I get to serve you so fully, and I get to serve you being supported. I get to serve you being gosh, like regularly emotion regulated in my body, and you get to do it through me. I'm not alone anymore to do this.
It's absolutely beautiful, honey. It's great to feel and see this greater aspect of you to flourish and blossom, because I've seen it when I first met you, and I know
Yeah.
we've gone through so much in these 9 years, and
Yeah.
now to allow that to move, it's like streamlining through your essence right now.
Yeah.
And that's like just allowing a higher frequency, not only for you, but for both of us
Yes.
to thrive. And I feel it's a great reflection of what happens when we really align with the divine.
Yes.
And we bring forth our greater powers that are already within us. We just have to be open to receive them. And it's so
And it
interesting.
is open to receive.
Right. And isn't it interesting so many times that we unconsciously shut them off because it's so easy to say no than yes? In my mind, it was so easy to say, wow, this is so busy. Even you can hear my voice,
Yeah.
a little lethargic nature, yet there's still this element to look in a greater awareness of like, well, look what's happening before us.
Yes.
It's like the seeds are dropping. So keep staying happy, keep staying in that health conscious level of like, you can do it, because it wouldn't be provided if you couldn't do it.
Exactly.
And so
Exactly. And you wanted it.
Yeah.
So isn't it funny? And this goes with our audience too. I'm sure so many of you have prayed, right? You put the good, God Almighty, put the answer our prayers, put the good blessings in our life, right? We ask for it.
Yeah.
We want doors of opportunity to open. And then what usually happens when it shows up?
Usually we say no,
Why?
because somewhere there is some illusion that we're not able, we can't do it. There's an
We're not
excuse.
prepared. Maybe
not
we're
prepared.
tired
Yeah.
because we don't want to shift things around.
Right. Well, I feel like sometimes there's just this closed-minded aspect that right now is not the right time. And so sometimes when we say that, we're actually blocking everything that God is giving to us.
Right.
And so as we step back and just witness the gifts that are already here, all of a sudden it's like,
But you're seeing it too,
yeah,
right?
I'm definitely seeing it. Yes.
Isn't it funny? So you and I are inside these pattern changes, as I'm sure our audience are also experiencing these internal patterns that they're seeing, and they have to go through it to create the change.
Yeah.
And how will you experience what's on the other side if you don't go through it?
Right. And I feel like since we've moved into this harvest time, this season of fall, it's really meeting those areas that are shedding. Like fall, as the leaves fall, we're letting go of those old aspects of ourselves so the greater aspects, our God present, can flourish. And
Yeah.
sometimes they're not easy. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's a challenge because of sleep or just what we recognize in day-to-day interactions. Yet I find when we have that greater self-love, greater self-care, and really bring ourselves into what we've always dreamed and desired and witnessing them happening right now, then all we can do is say yes. All we can do is move forward, because it's something that has been placed before us. And to me, it's like, how could you possibly say no to them?
So like you just said yes to, because you're studying also with a mentor yourself, and you just said yes to like also going through taking a chance. You just put this other presentation out yesterday. Where you're gonna serve again,
Right.
coming up what, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks? When are you doing that?
And in several weeks, but right now I'm launching weekly beautiful health series that each individual can connect deeper into their well-being. And so I know right now what's happening
So
to
you're
me.
stretching yourself.
So I'm
in
stretching myself, because I know with this mentor and all of the other classes that we're taking together
Right.
is just opening up more pathways to allow what I know and what we know to show what we're here to serve in our highest and greatest good.
Yeah. Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, so this is how we're doing it, raw and real. And this was raw and real. Raw and real, Michael. Yeah, today you're going to be resting a little bit.
Yeah, you
catching
you
up.
can hear my
That's all
throat.
right.
It's
It's okay. I'm Energizer Bunny. But yesterday was yesterday was not, right? So we have those days as well.
And I
That's
feel
all
like
good.
one of the messages are like in different levels. We can be in a high frequency, low frequency, but then there's that natural God frequency that constantly can
It's
pick us
always
back
there.
up.
That's
And so
right.
as we move through this, it's looking at these waves that move through and how we can ride them and allow ourselves just to follow the current and see how that guides us to where our dreams and desires are unfolding. Like many of us moving into aspects that I feel are right here before us. We just have to open our eyes and just be grateful for what's before us.
And I feel you just said open the eyes, open the eyes of our heart, because through our human lens we're seeing very little.
Mm-hmm.
Yet when we step back, we can see through the lens of our higher heart, and it's a different side.
Yeah.
It's a whole different vision. So like coming this weekend, so you have, tomorrow's Thursday, this episode is going to show Thursday, and another thing came about. So then Friday, all day we're in this training. And could you imagine, Michael, we don't know what's before us this Friday.
Right.
And all those people and all the individuals. And look, we don't have everything organized right now. So the website is done. We just started podcast. My keynote speaking is not finished. You have those. We're all in the middle of something.
Right.
It's not done. And before it would say, because it's not done, I'm not going to do it. Yet what is so important, regardless it's not done, we're going anyway, because we don't know who God has orchestrated for us to meet. That is part of our next destiny, and we're part of their next destiny.
Yeah. It's the ultimate path of faith and trusting as we go upon this journey, that there is just this beautiful truth that is revealed before us.
And we'll schedule massages for Saturday. For sure. So it's great. And we're going to leave this episode with this. This comes from my heart that I want to share. Really allow yourselves, dear audience, to say yes to life. I can speak from personal level. I'm going to go deep into this space. I found myself the last several years, I wasn't saying yes as much because of so much of the challenge with family and when we were living in Florida, just so many personal things and hurts that I had come across. I found myself saying not yes to life as much. And it seemed also on the inside of me, I'd shut the door to passion inside of me. And of course, I'm inside this menopause, so a lot combination together. And I chose to, a few weeks ago, I chose to come back to me, invest in me, and say yes back to life, but say yes fully. So I'm now experiencing how life wants to gift me with what I have said yes to. And it's starting to feel so amazing. I'm finding myself to be happier and happier and happier. And there's the return of the true joy inside my heart that has come back, that feels so good in my body. And I'm really being held and supported in this. That feels amazing. And I'm also seeing the reflection of you, Michael, being so much more supportive, which feels amazing.
And when I hear that, which was so beautifully expressed, Honi, is that yes, I feel is that ultimate acceptance to life. And when we just look at this sacred vessel of life, of how it naturally flows, there is very little resistance in our life force, in our God presence when it moves through us.
Yeah.
And so as we continue to open those doors in acceptance of everything that's coming before us, it's so interesting that we release the inner and outer resistance that may prevent us from what we always want. And sometimes we don't even know it because we're so trained by old patterns, old behaviors, and unconsciousness. Yet in that acceptance, in that yes, it's automatically giving that step forward where we're no longer living life. Life is living us. God presence is coming through us. And now it just becomes a matter of saying yes, showing up, and accepting what is automatically being placed upon our path. And as you said this morning, the greatest thing to do is to bring that joy, that happiness, and that sense of wellspring, because that is the natural fuel that continuously to drive what, yes, acceptance and the ability to thrive. Yeah. And it's interesting that this amazing event is called Aspire, where even in Aspire, you feel that spirit and you feel that nature to rise, which we know in that greatest version of ourselves, because it only feels divinely guided. And the more that comes through, I just feel like it helps us by really becoming aware of how acceptance and yes can give us what we've always dreamed for, and what we've always wanted, versus sometimes that resistance or no because of just older beliefs or conditions that have held us back.
Yes. And what we've always wanted, are you experiencing how reachable it is now because of this yes?
I feel something
Or it seems so far before.
It's reachable, but what I also feel is it's a greater visibility, because as we've learned, it really feels like this shield of protection, or this shield of guarding and protecting, is now slowly melting away, because in this yes, in this acceptance, it's also opening in reception.
So you're speaking from yourself that you're noticing that.
Yeah, I'm noticing as I let go and let myself open to greater aspects that I know are within me, but have been, let's just say, layers that have been moving away.
Like if you've been living in the igloo. or like igloo layers.
Well, I wasn't exactly thinking of that. That's a bit cold for me. I was thinking more like a snake and like the layers of the old self pulling away. But the igloo is fun. Yet we're still in fall, so I'll take as much warmth as possible.
Well, thank you, love. That was a good. It's good to end it with a laugh.
I just love. When we say yes, we say acceptance. And when we say acceptance, that allows the natural flow to really embark upon what we're here to do.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And we're going to finish this with sharing that very soon we're going to start doing our videos on Instagram for couples working through things, right? All these areas that we work through.
Not just things. We're going to be working through the valuable pieces and tools that we feel personally that not only have we've graciously evolved through, but what we find as gems and treasures that can help so many. I feel like the value of our dedication and devotion to
meeting the discomfort, meeting the challenges, meeting the harshness, meeting all of that, and what we've overcome. To start sharing from. It's exciting.
It's very exciting.
I'm so excited.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm so excited. Finally, you're on board to do this.
I've always been on board.
No, you're really on board to do it. Finally, we get to do it, and we get to do it on video.
I've been on board. It's just been moving at a different pace.
Exactly. Well, much love to all of you. Thank you so much for being with us today. We're so excited about this podcast. Can you please give us some feedback? How is it going? Are you enjoying this? What are your questions? Michael, anything you want our audience to give us feedback on? Anything you're curious about?
I would just love to hear as they listen, as they hear what is being brought through them so that they can share in their own experience. Are there things within them that when they hear us speak, are there reflections they're having on their own growth? Are there questions that they may have for us that we can help expand to deeper layers?
Yeah, so if you can please contact us, ask your question. We would love to be able to address these as this podcast continues. And
where can they contact us?
info@ascensionalchemists.com.
Beautiful. Thank you, Honi.
Exactly. And for those of you who are ready, you're ready for your next, and you're ready for your next best and greatest, and you want to work with Michael and I together or individually, you just got to give us an email, set up a call, let us see if you're a good fit with each other, because we truly are dedicated in mentoring you to your greatest, the way we push ourselves to be the greatest version, not for us, the way God Almighty wants us to serve and be. So if that's you, feel free to reach out. Same email. Michael, what's the email?
Ascension Alchemists.
No, info.
Oh, that's not the email. Oh, yeah. info@ascensionalchemists.com.
There you go.
Thank you all for joining us today. It's been one of those days.
It's a perfect day. It's a perfect, beautiful, blessed day. May you have the most incredible day. God bless you, bless you, bless you. And may you allow the greatest version of you shine through.
Thank you all for being here today.
Bye-bye.